Home prices are coming down and sellers, well, they're not happy. Let's talk about it. So I just got finished with all my weekly calls to my active listings, and I feel that this is a conversation that's worth having with the public because we've got a lot of inventory coming to market, and unfortunately, some people still think it's a 2020, 2021 market where you can just ask anything you want, and that is just not the case. Now, what I'm about to review is completely hypothetical. However, if we get another downward spike in median price here in Las Vegas for the third month in a row, that's a pretty good indicator on where the market's heading. This is our hypothetical bearish real estate market. And in this market, we're going to be talking a tale of two sellers, but more specifically, two pricing strategies. So strategy number one is going to be a person that decided to list their home high. They say that they want to leave some meat on the bone, as they say, to negotiate down, and they go on the active market. Now, the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks of any listing is by far the most important. It's where you get all of your views. It's where you get all of your showings. You know, the majority of the action that happens on a listing is in that first time frame. However, if you're listed above everybody else, you automatically go to the bottom of the list. So naturally, this listing tends to sit for a little while, right? You got about another month of time before all of a sudden the agent says, hey, we're not getting any showings, we're not, getting the offers that we need. We need to do a price reduction. So that seller begrudgingly says, fine, we'll reduce the price a little bit. Let's call it $5,000, right? Bam, there they are right there. However, they're really just in arrears, right? They're really just chasing the market down. And this process tends to happen often where you're just basically chasing your tail all the way down, and the listing ends up sitting for the next 3, 6, 9, sometimes even 12 months. Now, if you compare that to somebody that actually lists their property a little bit ahead of the market, right? This is an attractive price. By the way, this strategy works really well in an up market as well. But just a little bit ahead of the market, bam, you attract the buyers, you get a bunch more feet through the door, you get some offers. Maybe it takes 15 to maybe even 30 days to get into contract, but bam, you are locked in at that price. Now you've got another 30 to 45 days before you close and cash your check. Now, in a receding market, in a downward market, which method would you like to choose? Which method do you think is going to get you the best bang for your buck and net you the most amount of money in the sale? Now, this may come as a shock to some of you, but overpricing it is not the way to go in a bearish market.